Uh, Hello guys. So today we are going to talk about smart pointers and memory leaks in detail. Okay. So let's let's start with smart pointers first. Okay. So what is a smart pointer? So smart pointer is nothing but just an object of a class provided by C++. That that deletes, yes, deallocates the space, deallocates the memory or memory space that was allocated for that object. Okay, so we won't don't have to manually deallocate the memory. We don't have to deallocate the memory. It does it on its own when the variable goes out of scope. But like I said, memory leak, right? But what is memory leak? So uh, memory leak is the memory that we allocated but forgot, or don't uh, we did not deallocate. So that memory is occupied, and like it is it will be occupied until your PC shutdowns or restarts. So no it okay like that space is allocated, so no other program can use it. So that's the memory leak. So okay, what happens is memory is RAM, right? RAM is random access memory, so that's why it is called RAM. So other operating systems has many other programs running. Okay, so every program needs some memory space. So let's say we create every other programs uses some memories. Okay, so many times most of the memories is occupied. Okay, so let's say I create this script that allocates some memory by using new pointer. So I allocated the memory, and then I when I allocate it, I say to the computer in background that this memory is reserved uh, only for my program currently. So until I deallocate that memory, you cannot no other programs variable or no other programs uh, other programs object can be created on that part of the memory. Okay, so it's allocated, it's reserved. Okay, that this is for my program current, this is occupied for the my program for this much of time. So we don't actually specify the time, but until we deallocate it. Okay, so let's say we allocated some memory, uh, let's say 1 GB, and we did not deallocate that memory. So that 1 GB, until we say deallocate that memory, the computer won't allocate any other programs object, or you won't create any other programs object in that 1 GB. So that 1 GB is preserved, but our program has stopped running. So if our program has stopped running, so at that time what happens, like computer doesn't know exactly until we deallocate that part of the memory. So computer won't know, okay, your program has stopped running. So that memory is occupied for forever, no other program would be able to use that memory. So that is the memory leak. Okay, so as I said, memory leak happens when we allocate the memory but do not deallocate it. So if I in our case, don't if I do not write this delete p1, so it's a deallocating keyword. So the memory that allocated by p1 will not be delocated, and no other program would be able to use that memory. So that is very biggest disadvantage, it's a very big problem. So like we can't use that memory anymore, and no other program can use that memory anymore. So that memory is occupied but no one can use it at all. So that's a waste of resource. So like the, that is called memory leak, and it's a very big problem. So to avoid that problem, C++ provided a class named pointer, unique ptr, and it's a generic type of class. So if we create an object out of that class, so it's a local object named p2. Okay, like currently named p2, but we can name it anything. And since it's a generic class, we can create any type of object for p2. So and then we call the constructor. So in the constructor, what we do is okay, so like this is just like the like the syntax of calling the constructor, and this is the parameter of constructor. And what we do in parameter, we say okay, allocate memory for player. Okay, so when we allocate it, yes, we allocated the memory, but its reference is like this p2 object will hold the reference of new this memory. Okay, so whenever the p2 object is getting out of scope, inside its like it's a local variable, so it will be destroyed, like its memory would be deallocated when the function gets executed successfully, or even like if it gets terminated, even then its memory would be deallocated. But because it is a local object, its memory would be deallocated when the function is finishes, or like the when the function has stopped executing. So like, by because of any reason, it doesn't matter. So like its memory would be deallocated and its destructor would be called. So inside this destructor of like unique ptr class, destructor of unique ptr class, they must have provided like there is a reference to this memory, right? So they must have said delete this new memory that we allocated, delete the memory at this reference. So like it's just a simple class that does the work for us, but like the like predefined class, we can even create our own smart pointer class. It's like if we know how to do that. So like so I hope you understand the what are smart pointers and what is memory leak. Okay, so and let me explain you the difference between this local object and this dynamically allocated memory. Okay, so what happens when our program is running, whenever there is a local object, there are two. Okay, while storing the data inside a ram, there are two types, there are two sections of ram internally, not we can't see them, it's entire ram, but there are two sections inside a ram always. So logical sections. Okay, one is called stack and other one is called heap. Okay, so what happens is, like whenever the memory is allocated dynamically, so like that memory is allocated inside heap, and we need to keep an reference to that memory, and like because it is dynamically allocated. And then there is a second the stack, right? So whenever any object that is created as local object, so that memory is allocated inside a stack. So like let's say the main function of the main function, right? So like let's say it has it has local object p2 and even pointer of p1, so that's a local object. But the value that this p1 pointer stores, that is a dynamically allocated memory of new player. Okay, so that would be inside heap. So when this program runs the main function, so it will create a new stack and allocate the memory for pointer p1. Then it would say okay, allocate the memory for pointer p2. Okay, so now there are no new variables, so it won't allocate any more memory. and when this function gets executed successfully or gets terminated, so it will say, oh, program knows, okay, that I created two variables, like I allocated memory for two variables in its this program stack, so it will delete it, but it will not delete the memory that we allocated dynamically in here and that is inside the heap, stored inside the heap. So and that can create the, as I said, memory leak if we do not delocate it. And to avoid this kind of situations, C++ provided a predefined class, and that is called smart pointers. Okay, so I think this is it. Thank you.